everybody I knew, you know, they felt really wanted to get over there and do something about it. You know. Pay back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the way I felt at that time. I wanted, at least I wanted to do what I could, you know, even if it wasn't very much, at least what I could.
Okay. And when the Soviet Union captured Berlin and the war was over, what was your reaction towards this when the Russians?
You know, I was glad to see the Russians, you know, capture Berlin, but of course we had the Cold War that followed that, and that wasn't good, very good either.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, we were helping Russia. We were aiding Russia, you know, and wanted them to. They were helping us to win the war against the Germans. So they were our allies at the time. So I didn't feel exactly the way that that General Patton might have, you know,
mm-hmm.
somebody like that. But as soon as the war was over, he wanted to go ahead and whip the Russians, you know. But I was glad that they helped us win the war against the Germans. And I'm sure most people were glad. We certainly would have had a hard time doing it without what Russia did. Mm-hmm. Russia took really a beating, you know, before they really got to Berlin. They lost lots of people in that war, a lot more than we did. I mean, the Germans went right into Russia, you know, and really killed lots of people. I don't know how many millions. Yeah, I'm sure it was in the millions.
Yeah.
So they paid the price too, just like just like we did.
Well, the war in Europe is over, but still there's a war going in Japan, so it was like fighting two wars at the same time. What did you think about it? Because one fighting in Europe and another one fighting in Asia. What were you thinking?
You mean the World War II?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We did. I don't know. It seemed like we did pretty good fighting two wars at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know really what I might have thought about it. I can't really say. We did pretty good on both of them, I think.
Did you think that was a good choice for the United States?
I know what.
Do you think that was a good choice for the United States to fight in two wars at the same time?
I don't understand that question.
Like, do you think it was a good idea to go fight in Europe and Japan, send like half of their fleet in Europe and the other half in Japan?
Do I feel like someone should have had to go and fight in both wars?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know a lot of them did. You know, they took it from Europe and then they went to Japan. But nearly all those guys didn't fight. They got over there after the war was over. You know, and they helped occupy Japan all of them. But that would be kind of hard for me to do. I believe if I was a soldier, you know, and won one war and went right on to another. But I'm sure most of them got some time off, a little bit of time off. Yeah. That's pretty bad to have to do that. Especially a person drafted, you know, to fight. Might not be as bad for a volunteer.
Okay. Did you ever hear about the Doolittle raid?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, I heard about it. You know, it was quite a heroic thing that they did. You know, and I think they flew B-25s off aircraft carriers, and what they just flew them, bombed, and then they bailed out. Then I think the airplane didn't even land.
Yeah.
They just bailed out of them over, I think it's Burma.
Yeah.
But anyway,
They're trying to
It was
make it to
certainly a
China.
heroic thing to do, you know, that part of the war. That took a lot of, that was pretty good, I guess pretty good blows, you know, to Japan. That showed them that we could bomb them. That's quite an interesting thing to do. You think about it, those B-25s, it's hard to even imagine them flying off the aircraft carriers. They don't look like the kind of plane, you know, that made to fly off, or not really made to fly from an aircraft carrier. But you'd think they'd drop right in the water, you know. They just look like they'd got enough time to get altitude, you know. In fact, some of those planes, you look at them, to me, it's hard to imagine if they can even fly at all. It's those short, steady wings, and to me, it's kind of hard to imagine that.
What did you feel when the United States of America dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki?
Well, I feel kind of the same way I feel like Truman probably felt, that it was going to save a lot of American lives. You know? That we would, the Japanese, they were going to fight to the death. You know, they didn't believe in surrender. Mm-hmm. They were going to fight to the death, and there would have been a terrible war in Japan. But it would have lasted quite a long time longer, you know. And we might have lost nearly as many people as died in those, you know, bombing those cities. So it was a thing that I think it just about it under the circumstances about the only thing to do. You know, at least that's the way I feel about it. You know. I feel like it was an awful thing for Truman to have to decide to do. You know, have to make that decision. That was a terrible thing to have to make that kind of decision. Mm-hmm. But it is a decision I don't think would have been right. I think it was the right decision. To me it was. That's the way I feel about it. And still do.
Where were you at the time, like when the atomic bomb dropped? Were you already serving on the